Jeremy, you're continuing your trek through Colorado. How's it going?
Yeah, if people have not been to the Rocky Mountains, then you need to get there. And if you're like, that's not my thing, then go fuck yourself. Yeah. Yeah, because it's beautiful. We did ATV, whitewater rafting.
So you want people to see beauty?
Yeah, I want people to see beauty. There's moose up there. You can get a few elk in.
Meese.
Where do you put the elk?
Well, I threw coal on the back of one. I'm like, watched him gallop around the backyard.
Where do you not put the elk?
Yeah, they make little rabbit turds, but they're like bigger rabbit turds.
So like elk turds?
Yeah.
No, Collin.
Yeah. I did want to Google like how these elk inner workings make these little balls of shit and why.
It's because of what they eat.
Welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. Welcome back to Colorado Woodsy Reviews and the things you'll find and the majestic glory that Jeremy has been exposed to. Well, welcome back to Rabbit Troop Sucks. As always, we are a podcast about obscure, forgotten about, and often overlooked films. And as always, I'm Paul.
He is.
But what if I told you next to me is Mike?
That's a lie.
Well, next to me is Collin, too.
That's probably true.
And there's Lamar.
That's a lie.
And in the studio, there's Jeremy.
I'm not here.
We covered all the bases.
Wow.
All the squiddy bases.
Covered all the lies.
You could see the squids and the seahorse.
Right.
And the meese. The Colorado meese that we've been talking about. Hey, we're going to be looking at a more recent film, 2020, Psycho Goreman.
Was that released during COVID then, huh?
It was released in your dreams. But yes, it was released during COVID.
Wow.
Director Steven Kostanski. Last seen, Jeremy's favorite movie, Manborg, 2011. Go back and visit that. More recently, we also talked about The Eliminators, which was an inspiration of Manborg. So we've got two things going on. But yeah, Astron 6 is the original group that put a lot of this together. And then separate from this is Steven Kostanski. But all the major players, I believe, from Astron 6 are in this movie in cameos. They still work together. I love this group. I will gush over this group every which way. Celebrating 4th of July. Happy 4th of July, everyone. What better way with a Canadian director and a Psycho Goreman?
Yeah.
Did you think it would happen this way? Did you think I just looked at the picture that we're going to be using for this. Did you think that Psycho Goreman was going to open 4th of July? Was this the banger that we needed? Is this the firework in the sky?
It was a surprising success in my opinion.
Nice.
Yeah. I think the Canadians use a little bit quieter fireworks though.
Yeah, they're more polite.
I was going to say like pow.
Yeah, exactly.
Pow. Pow. Like
Yeah.
a pow.
The explosions aren't as bright.
Po.
You can still get to bed by 9:30.
Yeah. Well, bathe in maple and go to bed. That's what you do.
I got a question for you, Paul.
Po.
You actually introduced me to Astron 6. What was your first Astron 6 movie?
Mike and I watched Father's Day, which we were just talking about recently.
Yeah, the penisy one.
And ever since then, I did some research on this group. Yeah, Father's Day was the first one
So
we saw.
Father's Day was the first.
It was.
Wow. Well, I think one day we're going to just have to cover that. It's going to get a little weird, but yeah, we're going to get to that.
I think
I
we
don't
should.
know. That scares me.
You're so blown away by the penisy one. You wanted more hunky boys.
Yeah.
We were discussing Father's Day previous
2011 Father's Day.
recording this, and it did kind of scare some of the people in the room who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
The description of
I
how
have
we were
seen it. And I was like, I don't know if I want to talk about certain elements of it. Before we go too far, but yeah, I mean, Father's Day, we're clearly going to do at some point in time. The world is only so long, and we have all these films to do. But Psycho Goreman, 2020, after unearthing a gem that controls an evil monster looking to destroy the universe, a young girl and her brother use it to make him do their bidding. And boy, howdy, do they.
I think that a couple times in this film they misconstrued universe and galaxy, Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can
Because
you
a galaxy
explain?
the universe is all the galaxies.
Yeah.
A galaxy is just one set of...
It's like our galaxy.
You know?
It's
Right.
like
Yeah.
all the planets.
Like the
and
Milky
stuff.
Way.
Yeah, like if you destroy the galaxy, that's fine. There's
Yeah.
like trillions of other galaxies out there, but you destroy the universe, well...
Yeah, but if you destroy
Nothing's-
our galaxy, then and nobody else would care.
Yeah, nobody cares.
So the galaxy is everything, kind of.
Well, to us it is.
Yeah. You know.
To these meat children.
Yeah. Worthless meat.
There are some meat children in this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 4th of July, you wanted to see a banger.
Yeah, dude, this is a great movie.
Galaxies collide in this universal epic of a film. Yeah, I pre-ordered this film when it came out. I mean, I clearly was aware of the director and who was going to be in this film. I love this film. This film is bananas every which way. This director also has a new movie out, which was... Oh, and we saw The Void, too, at one point in time. Frankie Frico came out last year, 2024. And so...
I saw that it came out.
I would like to watch that. I've been actually holding off until we actually did this. So...
that would be a good one, because we could go in with none of us having seen it.
That new one?
Yeah.
Let's do it right after this.
Okay.
Jeremy, you're staying up.
Is it a Donnie Darko
We're
parody?
doing a double episode.
That'd be
tonight.
great. I hope so.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I fall asleep at the Rockies game tomorrow.
I mean, most people do.
It's just sad. I loved the director of this film. I think this movie is a lot of fun. This movie takes a little getting into for me. It's weird. The girl who plays Mimi is annoying as hell. She is way over the top. And it works sort of for what it is, but her annoying presence is a little overbearing to open with.
Until you get used to it, yeah.
Yeah, like once she unleashes Psycho Goreman, I'm like, then there's like a balance for me. But like until then, it's just kind of like a bratty girl.
I think she's doing what she's
Supposed
to,
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that was my question is, do you think it's overacting, or do you think this is exactly how she's portraying it and it's perfect? Because I think
It's not
actually-
perfect.
No, I think that she is like the human version of Psycho Goreman. Like they both learn their lesson, maybe, or maybe they don't. No, there's no lesson.
no one
There are
learns.
lessons.
No one learns or grows in this movie.
There are lessons
that was so-
that are in song for you, Jeremy, which
Yeah.
Jeremy noted
Oh
as
my
we were
God.
watching this, that if you're going to apologize to Jeremy, instead of saying I'm sorry or some kind of worded apology, break out into song. It's
Yeah.
going to melt his heart.
Yeah, a song called like, was it Freak You?
Yeah, frig.
Hey, Freak
You.
You, man.
Yeah.
Everyone's friggin' one another.
I'm the heckin' best, guys.
Was that said?
Yeah.
I'm the heckin' best.
That's the beginning of the song.
Yeah.
I love that.
Frig all the rest.
Which begs the question: was there
I'm
any
the heckin'
profanity, real profanity in this movie?
I don't.
And what is the rating of this movie?
I'm assuming it's hard.
Yeah.
I was assuming too, based off the violence, but the violence is kind of
It's not rated,
No, that tracks.
all right.
which is worse.
I think the worst word was hell. I think they said hell quite a bit. I think that's about as bad as it gets.
Okay.
Yeah, so a movie that might be devoid of any profanity is chock full of over-the-top violence.
Yeah, very over the top.
Lots of blood.
But not the blood that.
It's
know.
very Turbo Boy-esque.
Yeah,
That's
not there. You go. It's not realistic,
Yeah.
like horror movie blood. It's
yeah.
Yeah, it's like cartoony.
This is a comedy through and through.
Yeah, it's like a fatality in Mortal Kombat.
depending how you take it. You might not laugh that much. It might not be a comedy. It might not be. It might be a drama
monster.
for you.
Well, basically, this movie starts off with this little girl, Mimi, playing in the backyard with her brother, Luke. And they're playing a game of Crazy Ball. I think everyone's had probably games like this. You kind of make up some rules. You do some stuff. I mean, they explain the rules. They're over the top. It's ridiculous. Only these two kids. And eventually, I think we find out their friend, Alistair, also knows the rules. But really, no one does.
It's Calvin Ball, right?
It is. Yeah. No. It's just. Yeah. It is Calvin Ball. It's like dodgeball, but with more running.
And then you need points. And then you need a clap.
There's a butt bonus.
Yeah, 5+.
There's
butt
always
bonus.
a butt bonus.
Yeah.
Always a butt bonus. Yeah, and this is where we see this girl Mimi kind of over the top, really complain. I don't want to say complainy, but like dictator-esque. She's kind of a jerk to her brother. We see a couple shades of this here, but this grows throughout the movie.
How old do you think she is? Does she say it? Or
12-ish is my guess.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, like give or take a year, like maybe 12-ish.
All right.
And so, yeah, she beats her brother at this game of Crazy Ball, and the loser has to dig a big hole.
That's their grave. Yeah, they're digging their own grave.
Yeah, that he's supposed to sleep on, I think.
Well, I mean, she did get the switcheroo, and because of that, which are some rules of the game, she said something like he's got to dig a hole, and she's going to bring his bed so he could lay in it, and then she's going to bury him in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, as you do.
And that was a big hole, as the father noted later on.
What a hole.
What a hole.
I mean, that would have taken a 12-year-old boy a long time to dig.
It did seem to take him the rest of the day and into the evening.
Yeah.
Which was showing like her overbearing self. Like, oh no.
Yeah, I would have just hit her with the shovel and been done with it.
Yeah, and then you got a hole.
Yeah.
And you put her in there.
I don't know why anyone listens to this girl.
Yeah, I think
either, man.
I think Brother Luke in this was questioning that throughout the entire news.
Boy.
Well, we have the father and the boy. We're getting everyone in there. So as they're digging, they basically uncover a medallion, which turns out to be a gem. The gem of Paradoxike. Paradoxidike? I don't know.
No, that's silly.
Yeah. It was like the seal holding this guy's coffin together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the name just once, never wrote it down. Never
I wrote it down a
cared.
couple times. I just
Wrote
can't
a
read my
gem.
handwriting.
Like, it's like a big glowing ruby.
It's a remote control.
Paratodike.
Praxidise.
Paraxidike.
Nobody knows, listeners.
I think it's Paraxidike. Collin, I think we put it together.
Okay, there you go.
But between the two of you, you got it.
Yeah.
It did help me read some of my handwriting when he said it. I was like, Yeah, the gem of Paraxidike is something that space monsters are going to be looking for. This is
Angels, maybe? Templars.
Templar
yeah.
Guardians. And as Jeremy noted properly, that this seems like a universe thing. And I do think that is what they are referencing, that this is a universe thing, but this is happening in this galaxy. Also, this gem of Paraxidike belongs to this kind of monster creature, and we're going to find him real quick. I like that Jeremy pointed out that we're now looking at a universe, and when we're watching this, Jeremy also pointed out, you know, when I bury the thing that controls this monster, I like to do it like right up the street from where this thing is. You could put it on any planet of any galaxy, but you're going to do it like up the street.
Yeah, like,
from where this thing
Leave it right where it
Like,
is.
imagine the only way to launch this nuke is with like a one special key. And where would you put that key? Right next to that nuke.
Well, it's like in a video game. When there's a locked door, the key or the medallion or whatever is always pretty close by.
The medallion.
This is Resident Evil rules. Also, why did they bury the most powerful evil in the universe like 3 feet down in Canada?
Well, it's a shallow grave, Mike.
Yeah, they could have put that guy anywhere.
Yeah, they thought they murdered him, and whenever you murder somebody, you put them in a shallow grave.
This was before the Maple times.
I see.
Right.
Yeah.
Shallow grave with a little bottle of maple.
No one will get past that.
Yeah.
You get to the syrup and you're like, fucking score. I'm going home.
That's right. That shit's expensive now, man.
Yeah.
You ever bought some maple fucking syrup?
Yeah,
I know.
all the time.
Sad times. Guest podcaster Lucor on this show. Him and I used to get off work and just eat maple. We used to buy maple cubes and flakes and just eat
Okay,
it.
When you first said that, I thought you were going right for the tree.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
you
you're
get
going,
maple
that's what I thought too.
I
I was
would've-
like, this guy's just noshing on some
I would
branches.
have. I would have.
Yeah. Take your little axe and just hack at it.
Unabashed, it wouldn't have stopped me. Yeah. Yeah, we'd just get lunches and then I'd just eat maple.
Like, yeah. Or you just take them out of shot glasses.
We have done that.
Eat
Just
my
go-
maple, buddy.
Gulp
I
it
would.
down like a whipped cream can, just like open mouth and just pour it in.
Well,
whip,
but I
like
mean,
a whip it? That's really gross.
I mean, if you used less adjectives than that, I would have agreed. But you really got deep into that, and I'm going to say sort of.
There we go. Man who appreciates his maple syrup, I appreciate that.
I know. Now it's like all the money, all the gold in Canada.
yeah. I mean, counterfeiting, it's big business.
Counterfeiting maple.
Yeah, maple syrup, fake maple syrup.
Yeah. Counterfeiting like olive oil has been like big business.
Oh,
too.
yeah. That's like a legit mob thing.
Like,
Yeah.
when you say counterfeiting, does that just mean like you make it in a different country?
Sometimes, but also like I remember reading articles like there's high end olive oils that like cost hundreds of dollars per container, and it was like pure virgin olive oil from blank of Italy and blah 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 or parts of Spain, and then there was like investigations and people were like that's not as pure as you think it is or even remotely close. It's like mixed with other cheaper oils.
Well, yes, I understand that, but let's say like Kentucky, I think they have some maple trees down there.
Yeah, it's not
Let's
like
say they make the maple syrup the exact same way these Canadian blokes are making it.
it's not like champagne. It doesn't have to be made in the,
Well, that's the same
maple
thing.
region.
Why does fucking
I
champagne
don't
have to be
actually-
made?
Sparkling syrup.
Well, I mean, legitimately, I don't agree with any of that. I bet like there are people out there who are like, I could guarantee you, I know where this maple was like grown and blah blah blah.
Probably,
RTS
yeah.
is the cutting edge of your syrup needs.
Yeah.
Listen, boss, I don't think this tastes like pure maple. I'm gonna investigate on that.
Yeah.
Trying to cut it like, I don't know, Indiana honey into this. Get out of here. To hang you by your balls, friend. You'll die for that.
Yeah.
Psycho Goreman's gonna get you.
I like how you brought it back in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, basically, a monster just like wakes up. I mean, that's how we are back. So we find this gem, but then the kids basically go to bed, and a monster like finds a warehouse and just wrecks shop.
Why does he go to the warehouse?
Well, he woke up in a box.
He just woke up and he's like, hey, I'm going to walk into this abandoned TV warehouse.
Sounds like a good time.
It was a shoe factory.
Yeah,
Or
we later
shoes,
find
yeah.
out. I remember once when this was a shoe factory.
I got to renege on the claim that there wasn't much cussing because there was a ton of cussing in this scene.
Okay, was there?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because he was like talking about this shit is like no pawn shop's gonna buy this shit, and he's like suck my dick,
yeah.
asshole. And
Yeah. Wow, good call, Colin.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
There you
Do you have the script in front of you?
Yeah, but it's edited.
Oh, I see.
Nice. Redacted.
Yeah,
Well, those were Americans playing those characters, so that's why they had to cuss.
Oh, that's true.
They just wanted maple. They came to the Canadian country for a better life and a better maple opportunity.
Well, one of the men was missing half his teeth.
Yeah, well,
These were some
Too much
gangly
maple.
folk.
Too much maple.
Yeah, that's what it was.
maple's a tricky man's drug.
The maple got him.
he couldn't handle his maple. Just destroyed his teeth and destroyed his soul.
I'm really gonna spin this story. Like, we need to really like highlight this. So like people are afraid of maple, and then it lowers the prices so we can buy it back. People are like,
That's
we don't
right.
want your maple. And then they're like,
We're gonna fear
do.
Mongol.
Yeah, you do.
We're manipulating the maple market.
sorry guys. Once they get the syrup in them, they get all antsy and they're bancy.
Oh man.
What was that from?
The Super Troopers.
This movie is done clearly on a lower budget, much like Manborg, but not done on the like $1,000 Canadian budget that we noted there. Like, I don't know what the budget is. Regardless, I don't know even really what that means.
I bet you this budget is 400 times the budget. of
Well, I mean,
Manborg.
it's just like it's clearly bigger. The actual filming is, I think, more precise, more pristine. There's more special effects. There's just a lot more going on.
Manborg was going for a certain aesthetic, where this is a movie that's like, hey, this is a movie, and we're going to be ingenious with how we film stuff, and it's kind of just they know how they're using their money instead of just we're just going to do a bunch of shit and see how it happens.
Well, this was filmed in like the world where Manborg was, I think, legitimately filmed in someone's garage.
Yeah.
And then they just like painted scenery over it.
Hands up a whole bunch of green screen.
Yeah, basically.
yeah.
Fair.
Honestly, the effects in this movie look very similar to the effects in Manborg.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's just the backgrounds are not, like weird CG animation.
Because they're out in reality.
Yeah,
they were like demon creatures in future cities.
Yeah.
I did like I did like how they kind of made, and like if I was trying to portray this movie to somebody just so they can understand these creature effects that they're using, think like the villains in Power Ranger shows, like
glad-
that type of thing.
I'm glad you mentioned that because
Yeah,
the opening
Guardians
theme,
especially look like Power Ranger
Yeah.
people.
I wanted to mention the opening theme. It sounds just like a Power Rangers theme. I don't know if you guys picked on that. Like there's an opening riff, and it's like this is Power Rangers
So you think this whole movie might be like kind of a satirical Power Rangers?
a little bit,
Maybe.
without the big giant monsters, but the smaller guys. You know, Psycho Goreman looks just like Gordon, or not Gordon. Who was there was like Rita, and
I don't know anything about the
Yeah,
Power Rangers.
I've never seen a Power Ranger.
then I can't talk to you guys.
At the
about
end of this movie, they all
fucking-
joined forces and made Canada.
all I know,
Canada's Voltron.
all I know about the Power Rangers outside of like seeing like
Yeah.
minutes or like clips is racist color coding of the original Power Rangers, the unfortunate death of the white Power Ranger because I think he had multiple suits. And I think that's all I know.
Psycho Goreman looks just like a Power Rangers villain. There's kind of a little similarity there.
A little more gooey, but yeah,
He was pretty gooey.
Yeah.
Well, Pandora, that's like the white
Yeah.
comes at the end. That like is like
Oh
right
dear
out of
Lord!
Powers.
Yeah, oh
And
God, yes.
I love the brain guy in the little.
The brain guy's my favorite.
we'll get to him, but that's amazing.
Well, yeah, basically these kids who found the gem also conveniently find Psycho Goreman because they go to the warehouse the next day.
Yeah, why?
Why?
I don't,
Yeah.
That's where they just hang out.
Yeah,
That's-
okay.
You know, that they made shoes. Now they,
Maybe they're looking for the Keebler elves there.
I don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, I guess the Keebler elves.
Who knows what it means?
It's just one of the three kinds of elves.
It was understood from the beginning. Who the hell knows? Like, these kids are just feral children who are on their own doing God knows what, apparently all the time. But yeah, so now they're with their friend Alistair, and they kind of roll up, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like, oh no, wait, Alistair's not there yet. That's
Alistair
the next.
comes
That's
later,
the next day. No, it's just Luke and it's Mimi, so brother sister. And they roll up to the warehouse. They find Psycho Goreman. They freak out because like bodies are. Which we later find out, I mean minutes, Psycho Goreman will describe that these are works of art. So he has blown apart humans into bits and now is making some kind of art out of them on the walls.
Well, the one guy was still alive
Yeah.
in eternal torment.
yeah, well, that's okay.
Yeah, he had it coming. He was kind of a bitch.
He was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, Mimi, credit to her, she kind of pieces together pretty quickly.
I like that.
Yeah, that this guy is doing what she says.
Yeah, because Psycho Goreman, this monster, well, not named Psycho Goreman, this monster goes for Luke. And luckily doesn't just blow him up, just kind of like phase stops him for a second, like he paralyzes him or stuns him. And she's like, "Hey, buddy, like I don't like this." And he's like, "What?" Mm-hmm. And for some reason, he kind of has an interest in like this little girl being like, "Oh no." And he's like, "Well, I'm going to kill you too." And she's like, "Well, I've got this ball medallion." And he's like, "Damn, that is the one thing that controls
The
me.
one thing.
Where did you find this?"
Well, it was buried right on top of you.
Yeah, it sure was.
Yeah, well, she controls him and learns that quickly. So yeah, this is what this guy's warning him. Like, there's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna kill all of you. And she's like, you. And then the kids come up with a name. It's Psycho Goreman. After a lot of things. He's like, I'm Nightmare Slayer or whatever the hell he's saying. Then we get the next day. So they bring a friend Alistair and they show him off. They're like, look what I found. The Keebler elf, indeed.
Yeah, Alistair's not super stoked about this.
No, he shouldn't be because
Why
this guy
not?
is real gooey, dude.
Yeah, why not? I don't understand.
Well, they brought him a TV and some Hunky Boy magazines.
Hunky boy. You know, now you know my origin. Every time I've said anything with Nemo, she's always looking for a hunky boy smoke show. And, the hunky boy part comes from this.
I'm also going to give it up to this brother guy. What's his name? Luke?
Yeah.
Boy.
I'm going to give it, boy. I'm going to give it up to him. Have you ever fucking carried a CRT TV, man? Yeah.
Especially
You
the one
don't
with the-
carry that from your house
No.
to the shoe factory, dude.
And that had a built-in VCR, too. So that was extra heavy.
To be fair, it was just a little 13-incher, but
And he's like
He's
a
like
12-year-old
10.
boy.
Yeah,
No,
he's fine.
no, I'm
that's
sorry.
true.
He's fine. He's growing.
He is fine.
He took a couple rest breaks.
But this is the first clue that he's the bitch boy. He's doing
Yeah.
the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
They probably had some delicious Canadian snacks during
There
the
you
break.
go.
They had
They're-
some coffee crisps. Real winner, Ruffles All Dressed. My wife and I are huge fans of the Canadian Ruffles All Dressed chips. If you have not had them, for the love of God, literally seek them out because they are some of the best chips on earth. So good.
Canadian chips are always better.
Yeah.
Why? What?
They have better flavors.
Jeremy,
than we do.
are you like being serious? Like no, like are
I
you
didn't
one?
even know that Canada had their own chips.
Dude,
Are
they
they
have,
little maple chips?
they probably some of
Probably.
them, but they have all sorts of amazing potato chips. I'm not joking at all. They have like really cool like candy bars. From my experience, I'm sure much more than this. Candy bars and amazing like different
Like,
potato
are they
chips.
easy to find here? Or do you gotta like?
You would have to
seek them out?
pay like an import fee. Like now, especially more. Like our jokes aside, at the beginning of this, like you would probably have to pay more. But in the past, you would have to pay a handful of
Why
dollars more.
can't they just sell their chips here, dude?
we're
Why?
so heavily regulated.
I want some
we
fucking
can't
chips,
get
man.
anything here.
Yeah, dude. anyone listening to this, Canadian all-dressed chips, like you totally know what I'm talking about. Anyone who I've brought this up to, who I've had them, like, oh my God, yeah, of course.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, the first time my wife and I ever had them, we ate the whole bag. Like,
Oh my God.
like, dude, it was awesome. I mean, I wouldn't do that.
Are
like,
you sure that that's not cocaine?
it
No?
flavor-wise was. I found Flavor Country.
Yeah.
There you go.
The as a joke, they call it Zesty Mordant in Trailer Park Boys. But
Secret mic names.
the chips that was the name of my trivia team for the
know.
longest time. But yeah, the chips that are Zesty Mordant are great.
Damn.
We'd probably accept sponsors as chips, right?
Yeah, well, and
A
literally,
Canadian
The
sponsors?
Canadians
yeah,
are going to love this.
listeners,
episode.
literally anything.
Are you in Canada? Do you understand Rabbit Troop Sucks are also not cool with tariffs and are embarrassed about them? Let's promote that together through a series of
Chip
chip-fueled
exchanges. Yeah.
episodes. Yes. Chip on chip.
Yeah,
right.
we'll send you some good American stuff, I guess.
We'll send you Chip and Dale
We'll send you some
videos.
Cajun flavorings.
We'll send you. We'll send you
You guys take
send you
those. We'll take your
Jeremy.
chips.
Hunky Boy Chip and Dale shows.
Yeah, free access to the secret mic Dropbox.
Nice.
There you
So
go.
okay, the 26 of you in Canada that downloaded this last
There
month,
we
Beautiful.
go.
that's
Spread the
who I
word.
want to.
We're reaching out to you.
Please help us.
Yeah.
Help us get these delicious chips,
Ooh,
man.
Colombia is climbing up the leaderboard too. Hello, Colombians.
Hello.
We'll also trade
we'll
with
take
you
your
for stuff. Yeah.
We'll take your stuff too.
Yeah.
Send us your coffee. Mike will taste it.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Colombia
Quote,
just
unquote,
recently
coffee.
had this hot assassin broad that they arrested. Like, she's smoke show hot.
Really?
Dude. Yeah.
Okay, send her.
Are you sure you want that?
Yes.
Last request.
Hot Colombian assassin.
There we go.
Yeah, Mike, look her up.
Bring
Good.
your coffee, bring your assassin.
No, she's good looking.
The 23-year-old hit woman known as the Doll. Yeah, she's kind of trashy looking. Like in a way that I really
Say
enjoy.
trash.
Yeah.
There we go.
I did write an
Oh, yeah.
Australian band, and I wanted them to be on our show if they ever write us back. I thought it'd be cool if we did an Australian movie and talked to them.
Silverchair?
That would be amazing. Yeah,
You guys got to
Check-
sit
check in.
outside.
Yeah.
check in on them.
It's the only Canadian or
Yeah, I know.
Australian
That's-
band I could think
I know.
of. Men Without Hats, Men at Work. What is the...
Men at Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't
God,
matter.
I love that song.
They're
Though.
from a land down under.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a song that was played in what's the like offshoot of GTA, but the funny one.
Oh, Far Cry or
No,
not?
no, no, nobody knows.
Super Mario Odyssey.
No,
Crap.
it's like you like controlled gangs and shit like that. I don't know.
Tecmo Bowl.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called.
Walter Payton. Jerry
But
Rice.
that used to be one of the radio songs when you hop in a car, and I would play that game just to hear that fucking song.
49ers. Bears. Tecmo Bowl fans will know what I'm talking about. Lamar knows what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
49ers or Bears. You're unstoppable. Tecmo Bowl. Original.
Back
Represent.
to the other hemisphere.
Yeah. back to Canada.
Was it just cause? No.
Well, we also find out about Psycho Goreman, also known as PG. His
Yeah.
backstory. He basically comes from, what was it, Gygax? Gylax?
It was
Guy-
Gygax.
I'm guessing
Plant.
that's
Gary
a
Gygax?
Gary Gygax.
Yeah,
Alien
obviously.
planet.
He comes from Gygax, and
He was
he's
a
basically a
slave.
slave worker. And then he found the medallion. He found the gem himself, put it in his body, and wrecked shop.
I do kind of like this scene because you can sort of empathize with him now, rather than him just being like some piece of shit, like just demon god
Yeah.
thing.
Sort of. This goes kind of off the rails. So the story is this. So he finds this gem that we've talked about, and he inserts it into his body, becomes basically an unstoppable god. And he's like, I took back the planet from all the people, and all the people that supported me, they became my generals. And so I'm like, okay. And he's like, but then my thirst was more, and I just went planet to planet like it was
Yeah.
Thanos, just
Yeah.
like killing
It
people.
got a little extreme.
A bit of an overreaction.
You're like, oh,
You know.
shit.
Things happen, man.
Yeah, so like Jeremy, I also agree. I was like, oh man, like Psycho Goreman, you're not that bad of a guy. You were a slave warrior that like freed people. I was like, oh shit. Then you got real angry. Like you went full stock.
His blood,
He's Black Adam, yeah.
his bloodlust couldn't be contained.
yeah.
There's a lot to learn from this movie, but I feel like this scene incorporates that too much power can go to your head. And what's that saying?
Absolute power, yeah.
Corrupts absolutely. So he had a little power when he got free, and he's like, yeah. And like you said, he just wants more.
Yeah,
he's
that
going through
power
the
tastes
universe.
good.
Just killing everybody.
He loves it. He's eating people. And if you're a true warrior, that's how you die. He eats you.
True warrior's death.
Yeah. Well, he did it.
Fantastic.
So we find out a little bit about this. And then, you know, soon after, we're playing basketball and little crazy ball in the yard again. We got Alistair, and they're trying to explain the rules of crazy ball.
Psycho Gorman's not getting it.
Yeah. Alistair is also like, I think I'm going to go home soon because this is getting really weird for me. And basically, through a series of events, Psycho Goreman highlights to Mimi that he has a dark magical set of powers that we don't really understand. He's like, oh, I could just like do things. So I could like transform your friend into like a better version. And she's like, do that. And changes him into some brain goo.
He is a brain with tentacles.
Yeah.
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 Oh, also shout out to Lamar. We found out Psycho Goreman, he was just fighting tentacles as a slave warrior. Was he harvesting tentacles, Lamar? What was he doing with his axe?
Oh
he-
yeah!
he was
Wow,
beating
he was a
tentacles.
slave. He had a pickaxe and he was hacking at a tentacle. Like, what are they harvesting? What are they doing? It's just very bizarre.
Just grunt work.
Yeah. Well, you know,
Typical
somebody's got to dig up them
psycho
tentacles.
Yeah, that's where that blue spaghetti that they were eating at
Right.
like the Congress
Yeah.
meeting came from.
What
You find out he's just an immigrant of that planet. Like, harvest these fucking noodles, motherfucker.
Guys, full turn on. This is going back to the longest yard where we're like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're just digging dirt in a swamp.
Just
Like,
digging.
dope. That's what he was
Yeah.
doing. He was pickaxing a tentacle.
It's not for a reason. It's just, because it sucks.
Yeah.
So I do have a question about this game. So the switcheroo comes into play like now and like even before and
Yeah.
later in the movie.
Yeah.
Jeremy, it's when the balls touch.
So yeah, that's what I was going to ask, Mike. It's
Yeah.
when the balls touch.
Correct.
Switcheroo.
But then, does that mean you just then beat the shit out of each other? I don't get it.
You punch. Whoever gets the first punch.
Yeah.
The first punch.
Yeah.
Whoever
Okay.
draws first blood.
I gotcha.
Mimi's really good at uppercutting people in the stomach.
Yeah.
Better than anyone else can get a hit off of her.
Well, Luke didn't seem like he was really trying.
Yeah.
That's true. Luke
No, Luke
loses
is
a
kind
lot.
of a pussy.
Luke's
He's a
a-
nice guy, but he's a big
He's a
puss.
little bitch.
Luke's battle paint is kitty cat
Kitty cat
whiskers.
whiskers.
There's
Yeah.
actually,
There, yeah.
oh man, that's what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Was he going for that, or was that
I
just by
think
mistake?
so.
Like, I'm just wiping my face. I thought it was like dirt, but if he's going for the cat look, like he's going for gasp, it looks really bad.
The only other thing I want to note about is PG's Psycho Goreman, that is his backstory is he's like, yeah, then like these Templars that were like controlling us, like I was like, screw these people, and so we beat some ass, but they eventually like were able to take me over, destroy me a bit, bury me deep, and separate this gem. This gem is what controls me. He's very open.
Separated it by 6 inches.
Yeah.
Put it over there.
Yeah, I put it over the block. I like also this is kind of the end of a lot of his backstory, which is insane. There's like a scene where they're all going to like the malt shop or like the local diner. He's like, this reminds me of the time I did this, and you see him like flying a spaceship and doing stuff, and Mimi cuts right into the story, and that whole backstory, like the Scooby-Doo, like you get to see a little bit of it. That fizzles out immediately. And then it's back to Mimi and doing stuff.
I love that. He's like, he's flying a spaceship with like skulls on the front of it. And then just
Fighting
like,
this
it's
giant
done.
space monster.
I do like all of those scenes where he's trying to just tell backstory. There's one good scene where he's telling the backstory, and that's where you get most of it. But there's 2 other scenes where he's abruptly interrupted. Just gives you a tease of what could have been.
Right.
You could have known everything about PG, but you just know enough.
Yeah, even in the scene where we actually get the exposition, the kids are not paying attention.
Yeah.
They're like setting up the TV and like putzing around.
It's so great.
Yeah,
Nobody cares about fucking Goreman.
Well, now we're playing some like crazy ball in the backyard,
Yes, we
and
are.
now that Alistair's changed, I like that mom and dad Adam Brooks plays the dad, definitely notable in Astron 6. A lot of different roles. He played dual roles in Manborg. He was Dr. Scorpius and like the villain himself.
Count Draculon or whatever.
Yeah, totally, Mike.
Yeah.
And he plays Greg in this. Greg is my favorite part of this
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Like, Greg is amazing.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Greg is the reason, honestly, I'm like, one day I hope you go back to like Manborg and all of Astron 6's
I'm
material.
never going back to Manborg.
You need to admit to yourself, like Mimi, that you need to apologize to yourself and let things heal itself. Not just with song.
If I die and go to hell, which is very likely.
Jeremy, there is no heaven.
No, but there could be a hell. My hell would be just me in a room with like an 8K television that's like 125 inches, and behind me is just an endless row of DVDs of Manborg.
Fantastic. It's fantastic. One man's hell is another man's heaven.
There it is. God, I hope that doesn't happen, man.
Well,
Turn it around, Jeremy.
I'm gonna get the pearly gaze and be like, hey, remember that time you fucking said this? And I'm like, yeah. Well, welcome to your new fucking life, buddy.
Okay, well, maybe you'll change your tune after you see Father's Day.
yeah, totally.
Maybe.
Father's Day. Well, this whole movie takes a real tonal shift right here. So now that Alistair is this monster and Mom comes out and then Greg comes out, they're like, oh my God, what's happening? Mimi's like, oh, this is Psycho Goreman. It's totally cool. He's like, I will kill you. And he's like, Mimi's like, no, they're not going to kill you. I will eventually kill you. It'll be horrific. He warns everyone pretty sincerely about all of this. So then the parents somehow just amazingly become cool with this. Like, oh, my daughter's got a monster.
The mom seems pretty involved when like they get into antics later.
Yeah, we're gonna see some antics coming up. They're pulling pranks on Greg, which is a lot of fun. Like he's like secretively eating cookies that were made for school. Now demon hands are putting his face into a bowl and smothering them. It's fantastic. Greg has so many one-liners. Like I will note a couple of them throughout, but it's really worth watching just his reactions to this. But now the kids do my favorite thing. After all the shenanigans, they form a band. And it's Alistair on the keys, so this brain monster. Psycho Goreman is on the drums. Mimi is singing and playing guitar, and I don't know if anyone's playing the bass. There just might be another guitar. I can't really tell. And that's going to be Luke. What a band.
I also want to make note, like you said, that the when the parents first see the brain kid, they freak out. Like you would expect somebody to freak out in like a normal movie. And then 5 minutes later, the mom and the daughter are in like a Pretty Woman scene where they're fucking dressing up Psycho Goreman at like a fucking retail shop.
Yeah.
Psycho Goreman's wardrobe throughout the movie to disguise him is amazing. The cowboy hat is my favorite.
The kerchief.
Yeah, the kerchief and the cowboy hat really selling me on this. As I noted, a partial theme is Luke really contemplating him, like his own self in this. And now Mimi is kind of growing out of control. She controls Psycho Goreman. And a lot of it's for shenanigans, but when it comes to Luke, it's really kind of mean-spirited jokes, and he can't really get out of this. So he has a nightmare that night, which is interesting because he has a part of a dream that turns into a nightmare, and Psycho Goreman shows up. He's like, hey, the nightmare realm is where I could communicate with you. And he's like, oh. And there's like zombies coming out of a grave. He's like, so what's all this? He's like, that's your nightmare. He's like, you got to get that gem, bro. that gem is what you need to get, and we need to get out of this. And if you do that, I'll probably not kill you.
It's a good deal.
And Luke's like, well, okay, I can do that. Finders keepers on the gem. Now what do we do? And Psycho Goreman's like, we've got to see this dream through.
And then they just kind of sit there.
Yeah, and they just sit there awkwardly because no one knows what to do.
Well, he was very protective of his sister. He's like,
Yeah.
listen, I trust my sister. Like, I love her.
She's a huge bee, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to sell her out.
But he's
Not yet.
also
Not yet.
just like, she's just manipulating you. Come on, man.
I mean,
you and I,
you know.
we got to work together and get this broad.
It isn't a terrible alliance.
He's making sense to Luke too, and Luke's kind of coming
the
around his logic.
The only problem I have with Psycho Goreman's agreement in this is I think he does say something like, "I'll probably not kill you."
You know, that's fine.
There's not like a real guarantee, like really set there.
Based off what he's done, I will take that. It's just a probably not.
That's a Demon Knight
That's good
promise
enough.
for me.
That's
I've seen
good
Demon
enough.
Knight. That doesn't go right for us.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good deal, though.
It is a good deal. I think it was during like the out and about buying clothing montage, and this is the first time we see this since the beginning. Psycho Goreman just like explodes some random kid on the street.
She's like nice hat or something.
Yeah. She kind of sees like a monster in a hat. She's like, "Oh my god, nice hat!" and he just explodes him. Psycho Goreman doesn't have time for this.
No.
Now we're legit on the basketball courts. Like kids are playing basketball, and the cops roll up.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh my god, like what's going on?" And Psycho Goreman just totally annihilates one cop. Like it turns him into a mutant monster.
A really gross one too.
Which is like that guy for the next 10 minutes is hilarious.
That's true. Yeah,
So we'll get to
I'll give you that.
the other cop is told to run off. I like that as his partner's turned into a mutant monster. Psycho Goreman's like, "Tell your other law enforcement peacekeepers of this galaxy that I'm coming. Now run!" And the guy tries to get in the cop car. He's like, "Oh, where are the keys?"
Rick,
and the,
throw me the keys.
and the mutant monster's like, "Ugh." And then that cop runs off. Then they go gallivanting through the woods. And as Jeremy noted, that
And Mutant
cop,
Monster's pulling a wagon.
yeah, the mutant monster's pulling a wagon, trying to shoot himself and wildly everywhere else. Shooting himself doesn't work.
He has a gun fused to his hand.
Yeah, he wants to die. He
just-
sends a Valentine to me.
Jeremy, that's my favorite. So all of a sudden he hands Mimi a Valentine. It's a heart, and she opens it up and it just says, "Please kill me," drawn in his own blood. And she gets so pissed off. She's like, "This isn't what I signed up for. This isn't the game that we're playing." Psycho Goreman's not really thrilled about this, and kind of gives Luke a couple side glances, like, "Bro,
Yeah, like you gotta stop her, bro.
yeah, remember Dream Talk? She's out of control."
Very annoyed by it. Especially if you had his power.
We should also note Psycho Goreman was able to throw out like a universe call. Like he called one of his generals.
He called
He's
him
like,
on the TV.
Yeah, like, "Whoa, bro, like things are happening. Come and find me." And they're good.
Yeah,
Because
the Paladins or whatever.
now they're in the woods and they show up. They're like, "Hey."
Oh yeah, it is pop up. This
Yeah. Alistair is left. He waddles off and he's like, "Will I ever be normal?" And Mimi's like, "Probably not," and gives him a kiss. And he's like, "Oh," and waddles off. Like, yeah, imagine Krang from Ninja Turtles, but like 17 times the size, just
and not
waddling
in a
off.
robot suit.
Yeah. But yeah, now a bunch of super, I'm glad you guys brought this up, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers-esque monsters just show up.
My favorite, I don't know any of their names. My favorite is the one that's basically like a big vat of body parts with an arm.
That shoots blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is like how it died.
I did, yeah.
This is like what Mike was saying though. This is why I love the writing of this movie. Like it goes so crazy, but it's so funny that it just works for me.
Yeah, this group of monsters rolls up and they're like, "Hey, so you called for us."
Hey, master, we're here.
Yeah, and he's like, "Good. These two meat idiots like are controlling me. Go get them or go get the gem. Give it back to me. I'll control it, and everything's gonna be dope." And they're like, "No." They're like, "Actually, we were super happy that you were dead. We never wanted you to come back." He's like, "What?" He's like, "You made a deal with the Paladins." They're like, "Actually, we just banished you and they just kind of leave us alone." He's like, "Who's in control?" They're like, "Actually, we formed a union. So like everyone takes turns. I wear the crown of thorns. I'm in control today." But, and everyone's like, "Yeah, we're pretty cool about it." There's so many cool monsters. I also like the voodoo monster. The voodoo monster is super weird for me.
The witch with the baby face.
Yeah, the eyes.
the witch
They're all
doctor,
pretty
yeah.
good.
Do you think
they're
the
all good.
vat of human body parts just like sets it on top of like the parts?
Yeah, probably.
I believe other characters of Astron 6 are these monsters. that roll up.
Yeah, Shenanograms or whatever is,
Oh, yeah,
is
they-
the robot with the parrot on his shoulder.
Calculon
Yes,
or
and the-
whatever. The
yeah.
mechanical or whatever.
Yeah.
They unionized.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. They're not having it.
I don't think Number One Man was there.
No, I don't think he's in any other films of theirs. I think that was it. So with this, they're about to brawl, and Mimi is like, nope, stop it. You were going to kill us. I don't like that. They're going to kill you, and you deserve it. So then these monsters just beat the shit out of Psycho Goreman, like, for a little bit. But really not. Like, they seem to, like, attack him, but it's like one guy's got, like, a whip of thorns, and that just seems to, like, bounce back.
It's just kind of pissing him off.
Yeah. And
He just can't fight back.
yeah, and she's like, I'm never doing this until you apologize. He's like, a real ruler wouldn't apologize. Then he's like, I'm sorry. She's like, okay, beat their ass. And he does. He just beats all their asses.
They didn't seem very tough. I mean, I know
No.
he's like,
Mike, you should describe so one monster is like a vat of blood that spills blood on him, but it's like a blood colander of like bones, faces, and blood.
Yeah.
It's very odd. I
Like
love
how
it.
It tried to kill him by just like pouring blood on him.
Yeah, that's what I didn't understand. Like, his thing was like, I'm just going to squirt some blood on you.
well, that's all he had.
Come on.
Like, he's already gooey.
Collin has counterpoint.
That was his weakness. That was the whole
Blood?
thing.
Is his weakness?
Because it was the blood that they took from him previously. That was what was ruining him later on.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
man, you're telling me it made sense?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Sorry to burst your bubble.
Well, what weakens Psycho Goreman is as they're like stabbing him, he's like, they have cursed blades. He later says like, because he beats all their asses, and then he's like, oh, I'm dying. Like, he immediately says it and looks like, what? He's like, yeah, they use cursed blades, and now I'm like,
Yeah,
bleeding-
they
bleeding
were
for
blades
realsies.
dipped in his old blood or something.
Yeah, it's the worst.
That's weird.
Colin, where did he get it?
I don't know.
That seems weird. Like,
He's been
your
around
own
for a
blood
long
The
hurts you.
blood bank.
I don't get it.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they did something to it.
Yeah.
Isn't like dead blood supposed to hurt vampires sometimes?
Yeah, a corpse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So
right,
you didn't like that.
No.
I love this upcoming scene. So Psycho Goreman prevails.
Yeah.
All these monsters are dead, but he's like, oops, I'm dying. And then we get this weird cut to Greg taking a shit. So Dad is just taking a shit. And he sees this floating blue little, like, almost like Tinkerbell flying across. He's like, and he has this look of wonder. Like, what is this little thing? As taking a shit on a toilet. And he goes to touch it, like, poke. And all of a sudden, the most high volume demon scream starts screaming at a portal opens. I'm dying. Come and find me. I'm at blank. And then he's like, where are you? And then it reappears screaming at him like, I'm at blank.
It's at the corner of Bellevue and Power.
Yeah, it scares him so
I don't
much.
know how to get there.
Yeah, it knocks him off the toilet into a bathtub. He's like, I don't know how to get there. And then Psycho Goreman gives him directions.
3 blocks south of
Then he goes to pick him up
Pretty funny.
in a pickup
in
truck.
his dually.
Yeah. And the kids are like, where were you? Psycho Goreman's hurt. So he drives him home. So one of these guardians, simultaneously, these Mighty Morphin Power Rangers characters, the main one is Pandora. Very cool white suit, white blade that we later see. Like, it's a white blue electric blade. She's like, it is my holy destiny to go stop this guy, and does it, or tries to do it, and goes and visits Mimi's family. So she's talking to the parents. And, she's talking to the mom, like, this is what's happening. And Greg rolls up with Psycho Goreman in the truck, and Mimi, and Luke.
And
And,
this is where we have the split. This is where Luke kind of grows a pair.
yeah. Well, Luke and Greg. Because Greg stands
true.
up. Because Greg is like, I'm sick of you calling me lazy.
How's this for lazy,
My parents,
Susan?
my parents called me lazy. My teachers called me lazy. I can't believe you would, Susan. Yeah. How's this for lazy, Susan?
God, do you think they named her Susan just for
Yeah,
that?
I do think that.
No, I think they put it together in that moment.
I just got that right.
No,
now.
I think they put it together in that moment.
Well, I enjoyed it regardless of how it happened.
I also did. Mike was full stock.
I was. I still am. Yeah, so Greg stands up to Susan, and Boy stands up to Mimi. And there's a bit of a divide here.
And Psycho Goreman stands up to Pandora.
Yes.
So there's
Yeah, so it's
3 on 3.
3 on 3.
Three
Very
on
important.
three.
Yeah, except for Greg is obviously wrong in his objecting to Susan, right?
Of course.
Okay.
No, he's just growing.
he doesn't
He's
know.
standing up for himself.
Yeah, well,
It
He's
doesn't
like,
matter
dude,
if he's wrong.
there was a scene earlier in the film where all the kids are doing shenanigans with Psycho Goreman, and Greg is watching TV and kind of keeping to himself, and Psycho Goreman turns basically like a soccer ball into like a fireball that goes through the house and bounces and breaks the TV. and Greg basically just has like a mental collapse.
Yeah,
and
he
starts
kind of
crying.
curls up into like the fetal position. He's
Starts
just like
crying.
whimpering.
Love it. Love it. Then later he buys a new TV to spite everyone, especially somehow Susan, and stacks that TV basically in front of the broken TV. It's amazing.
Yes, Susan, you're going to want to pick up some more shifts at the pharmacy. I took the next couple weeks off, and we're going to need to pay for them. Greg.
His spite is just top of the list.
Yeah.
It's good.
It hurt his hand.
He did hurt his hand. He will hurt his hand more eventually.
Yeah, but Pandora rolls up and is like, I need to take control of this. And
Well, she's in human form right now and just trying to plead with the mother.
yeah, and the mom's on board. And
Yeah.
he's like, Greg, get the hell out of the car. The one lazy thing you can do is do nothing. And he's like, fine, you want to see lazy? Like, as Mike noted, check this out. You think I'm lazy? Susan, and drives off. But Luke splits off. So Luke joins Team Mom and Pandora. And now it's basically Psycho Goreman, Greg, and Mimi. And they drive off to the warehouse. Like the only other destination you have.
Unbeknownst to them, Luke stole the gem
From the cookie jar.
from the cookie jar.
Me? Couldn't be.
Yeah.
Yes, you.
You!
Then who?
Then who?
Jesus Christ!
Yes.
Star Night. You'll never get old. Jeremy's other favorite. Watch Manborg and Star Night back to back.
Wow.
Crack open a sour, high potent beer and have lots of liquor. And you're Jeremy's night. You're all things Jeremy likes. Liquor.
I'll give you a fucking Manborg over Star Night any day.
Really?
Jesus Christ. That movie was such a piece of shit.
So your
God
hell is
damn it.
being updated from Manborg to Star Knight?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice.
We know where you
definitely.
stand.
That and the curve.
The curve is terrible.
Yeah.
Don't steal Mike's thunder on
Yeah.
that, Jeremy.
I'm not as angry about it as Mike.
No,
but
no one in the world has
Yeah,
ever been.
give him his own hate.
Yeah, don't take this from me.
Yeah, so now we're all going to the warehouse. You know, a lot of the background scenes are these other like guardians and monsters, like in some universe or whatever, being like, "Oh my God, Pandora's doing," and they're kind of watching from afar.
Yeah.
Now they're like bickering over who's eating noodles.
Anything we could say about this doesn't do it justice. You just need to watch
Yeah.
the movie.
Yeah,
That's true.
Because even like these things, these creatures sitting around this conference table are like very uniquely designed
yeah.
creatures.
yeah. As we noted, one is just like a brain in a jar, and
Like with a
and-
jaw.
Yeah, with like a yeah. He kind of looks like he's from
Like Mars Attacks.
sort of like that mixed with one of the side creatures of Space Ghost. And then he's like on like almost like a military human body. It's like very bizarre. But yeah, the culmination of this movie all comes to like the warehouse yet again. I love one of the scenes. So let's go with Team Warehouse. Team Warehouse again is Greg, the dad, Mimi, daughter, and Psycho Goreman. And he's not doing well. And he has been trying to trick Mimi to get this gem this whole time, but he's like, literally the only thing that could cure me is this gem. Like, I'm really kind of bleeding out with like cursed blades and various other things. And she's like, I don't know what to do about this. And wraps his face up in a little blanket. And that right there is like amazing. Like that's going to cure it all. He's like, oh, I don't feel good. But he does seem to kind of sincerely be telling the truth.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, like, you're going to kill us all, especially me and my family. And he does make a deal. If you give me the gem, I will not kill you and your family. And there's like really no guarantees. And she's like, well, let's talk about this. And the dad brings her off to the side and is like, he tells this amazing story. He's like, listen, when I was your age, this guy in this van came to my neighborhood and was like, hey, little kid, you want to look in my van and see all my baseball cards? And I was like, yeah. And he took me to the back of his van and he showed me the biggest collection of baseball cards in pristine condition I've ever seen. And so because that creepy old man showed me his baseball cards and I had fun, I trust you and your monster. And she's like, all right. And she's like, I'm going to give you the gem. And she's like, oh shit, I don't have it. And kind of pieces together that Luke must have the gem. And they roll up pretty quickly. Previous or simultaneously to this, Mom agrees with Pandora that I'll help you, and she transforms her, Mom, into also like a Mighty Morphin's Power Ranger
Yeah.
creature.
But without the breasts.
Without the breast, yeah. She makes her drink a glass of some weird, like, Luke Skywalker blue milk.
Yeah. It looks like food dye in a jar. It's really,
Yeah,
really
Yeah, pretty
weird.
much.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah, they're there. And then there's team other family.
Yeah. I like how Mom, in her robot suit, can't really walk very well.
Yeah, she's like hunched over. Like,
You gotta get used to it.
Yeah. No, it takes a bit. She's got, like, fucking wings now, shoulder cannons.
yeah.
Takes a while to acclimate.
Yeah, so they kind of all fight it out. Greg is super weird and is like, honey, if you stop doing this, I will love you again. It's a brother versus sister, and they're kind of just beating the shit out of each other. Psycho Goreman is basically just getting his ass kicked. But then Jeremy's favorite thing happens. Luke and Mimi have kind of a side talk. And she's like, you've got to give me the gem. Like she's going to kill Psycho Goreman. Like, you don't understand. And basically what happens is Pandora is about to slice Psycho Goreman down, but Mimi's in the way. And Mom's like, whoa, what are you doing? And stops the slice down.
yeah.
It was like, whoa, this is not our agreement. And Pandora's like, you've got to let me do this. And there's also a side agreement. Psycho Goreman's like, it's universal rule or whatever, that I have one last request. You have to challenge me in a game of my choosing, and then if I win, I get, my freedom, and if you lose, you die. And for some reason, Pandora agrees to this. Kind of simultaneously, Luke and Mimi make amends. And he's like, you've never apologized to me. You treat me like shit. Like, I'm kind of sick of this. And she's like, I'm not going to apologize. I'm a champion, but give me the gem. And then she breaks out into song, the song that they sang in their band. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And Jeremy said earlier, like, he doesn't want an apology. Like, you cut him off on the road, you flip him off, you do whatever, he's pissed. But if you sing to him, everything's great. It's fine. Sing to his family. Come to his hotel room, sneak in at night, sing to his family, sing that it's going to be okay. Like, shh, eat these peanuts. Put some peanuts in his mouth.
I fed peanuts to little ground squirrels out in the mountains.
Yeah. They tell you not to do that, but we've all done it, right? Right.
Yeah. I think it's like a thing.
Oh God, the squirrels are adorable. Those little chipmunk squirrels that come up. Yeah, they're adorable.
I tell you not to, but it's going to happen.
They tell you not to, but there's like fucking 6-foot piles of peanut shells like all around this area. Like they've been feeding these things for centuries, man.
They tell you not to, but the same people are feeding them. They're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, don't feed them too much. I once fed, not a mountain squirrel, I once fed a squirrel so much that one of my coworkers, at the time, guest host Sarah, who's been on the show when we did The Hard Way, Sarah and I were working together, and she's like, Paul, you fed the squirrel so much. It was, and I'm not joking, slumped over at a tree with like its belly out holding it, like held back. I was like, oh my God, like it just ate like a pound of nuts. And it did. And I did that. And that squirrel lived a good day. Hopefully it lived throughout the day. No. I did not mean to feed it till it popped, but it was literally bulging stomach out, slumped up against a tree.
No, that squirrel became a
King.
hawk's food at some point.
There-
Because
that
it couldn't run anymore.
That hawk couldn't pick up that squirrel.
Almond stuff and chipmunk for the hawk.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
You overfed that squirrel. You spent all day feeding it.
Just
I didn't.
belly full of nut.
I felt. Here at Rabbit Troop Sucks, we encourage you Googling certain terms, and that is a term you should Google. Yeah, well, everything's coming to an end at the warehouse, as we've noted. Pandora is kind of succeeding, but as noted, Psycho Goreman gets the gem and becomes the Psycho Goreman he was meant to be. Full stock. 20,000 stock. 20,000 leagues above the stock. That's all I had.
Okay.
He's overstocked.
Yeah. He takes that stock to Pandora to write to her box.
Oh man, there
Wow.
it is.
Yeah.
There
Wow.
it is.
Yowzers. Not what Jeremy said. I do love what Psycho Goreman does. There's apparently like weird rules that we're unaware of, and this story is unfolding on itself. That's fine. Mike and I have noted, and I often think of this, Mike, with sci-fi films. Mike and I like the ignorance. Not that we're dumb people. We like the ignorance that movies try to give us sometimes to be like, we don't need to explain what the alien is in Aliens. And we've noted that as an example. And this movie kind of does similar things. Like it tries to explain certain things. And you're like, I guess this kind of makes sense. Like I've played video games. I've seen other sci-fi movies. But you're like, whatever. I don't fully understand. But Pandora notes like, even with you full stock powered, you can't defeat me without a blade. And he's like, I'll make my own. And basically takes off limbs and organs and bone. Like snatch, 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 scene by scene. Takes out of her and forms like a bone organ blade.
A bone sword?
Meat blade?
A
Meat
pork
sword?
Yeah, and him doing this kind of invalidates what she said about him not being a match for her, because without batting an eye, he pulls enough of her body parts out to make a weapon.
Yeah.
With her just being helpless to defend. I think he was fine without the sword. But.
Well, and she also doesn't seem that affected by missing a lot of these bones
No,
and organs.
like he ripped her fucking eye out, or
She's got another
the wing that her was attached. to.
eyebrow eye.
There's two eyes, Mike.
You ripped her arm off. Yeah,
Well, let's do those also.
Throw back to so many other episodes.
Yeah. Well, he uses that meat sword to good effect.
Oh,
Yeah.
He dominates her with his meat sword.
He uses the me sword on Pandora's box.
He does, yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I googled all that.
Don't.
I think people are on their way.
Yeah. There's a van coming for us.
Yeah, I mean this whole scene is kind of fun. I mean, it's like
No, it's super.
it's a weird, like gory, horrific, sci-fi kind of like fun. Again, just real hats off to everyone with the special effects. I mean, you could tell that this is done slightly on a budget. I'm not trying to be an ass when I say that. I'm really just saying like we watch a ton of films and we could tell that there's budgetary constrictions, but what this group is doing with them, awesome job. Like seriously awesome job. And sometimes throwing in some of that quirk kind of balances it for me.
yeah.
Like if this was a super serious film, the movie The Void is a serious film with this director. There's like maybe like a couple jokes here and there, but it's way more serious. And I feel honestly that might be my least favorite of this director for that reason. So I like that it's balanced off with practical effects, quirk, various other things. But Psycho Goreman dominates.
It does, yeah.
He's like, I have the power. And so he does. He kills Pandora, and he's like, you fought nobly. And much like that other ruler of the day of that group, he's like, now I'll eat you. And they're like, oh, no. And the parents are like, oh, my God. And since the kids saw it earlier, they're like, you don't want to see this.
Yeah.
I like that even Psycho Goreman's like, your children seeing what I have done and devouring these people will have massive long-term repercussions on their psyche and will destroy them in the long run. And they're like, oh, PG. PG, you wacky little rascal. So yeah, Psycho Goreman dominates and is like, okay, like I'm pretty much done. And the family's like, dope. And he's like, well, as I promised, I'm not going to kill you. And Mimi kind of affirms this. And everything's kind of good. What does Psycho Goreman give her at the end?
The gem.
The gem, yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's like, I don't need it at all. He's like, the gem was always
The
inside
power
of me.
was within me all the time.
And she's like, that's crazy. So he forms a portal, and I love this. And she's like, bye, and blows him a kiss, and he keeps it and blows her one. Like, there's this moment of affection, and he turns around and goes into a portal, and just, like, I have to say this. You see, like, traffic in, like, a movie
Yeah, it's
theater.
like downtown from where they live.
Yeah, so it's like really close. Everything's coming to, and he kind of blows this kiss, turns around, and goes infinite ape shit. He is shooting fireballs, like fireball, like
Yeah,
like.
he's killing everybody.
I won't kill you, but I'm going to destroy your town and then planet.
Even when she made a deal, like earlier, Mimi, that is, she's like, you won't kill my family. He's like, I promise. She's like, well, I mean, I can't believe you. He's like, well, you should. And then he leaves, and even the dad was like, you should have had him promise he wouldn't kill the other people of Earth. And she's like, yeah. Oops. He's like, that's probably going to be a problem. Well, their family's fine. I mean, he's not going to kill. Yeah. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. I won't let us, skip to the end. I mean, we'll give us our final reviews after we talk about a couple of things. There is a in-scene end of credits, and that's just the monsters kind of bickering.
Well, what about the brain eating the salad?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sorry. There's two things. So at the very, very, very end, there's kind of an inconsequential scene of like all of these like guardian monsters being like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" Like, and they're kind of bickering amongst themselves. The real last scene of the movie is Alistair, brain monster, comes home and just joins his mom and dad for dinner. They ignore him, and I don't even know if they know he's changed. We don't know.
They
That's
don't
his life
acknowledge
now.
him at all, so I'm
No.
assuming that they don't know.
I've never seen the show,
Although
but
nobody,
this is a
at one
sequel.
point he was sitting out in front of like a fucking like mini mart, and people are just walking by the brain and just be like,
Fine.
it's fine.
Yeah. You don't want to engage.
Old hell. Yeah, you don't want to.
Don't engage the brain.
You don't want to be rude and stare.
Yeah.
I found if you often just like walk past people and if things happen and you're like, oh, what time is it? And you look at your phone and you're like, I'm just in my phone world. You get away with murder.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't notice. As always, feel free to reach out to us if you have any kind of insight into movies or if you have something to tell us about movies or you want those isolated sound clips that we always tease you about with Mike. Feel free to reach out to us at rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. Again, rabbittroopsuckspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you, and some of you, maybe you're going to be a guest. That'd be awesome. You could go to our website proper, rabbittroopsucks.com. We have links. We have things to links to merchandise, a little bit about us, various things to note and episodes. So very cool on that. We also have Facebook and we have Instagram. We are also everywhere podcasts play. And please, please reach out to us with a 5 out of 5 star review on our ad-free podcast. We love playing these podcasts. We love posting these podcasts. We love watching these movies, and we love hearing from you. As always, thanks so much for telling us about these movies and getting back to us. Jeremy, it is one of your last nights in Colorado. Very sad on my end, but hey,
sad.
For the viewers or listeners, I should say, it is going to be 4th of July and 4th of July weekend. Not that we're there now. We're a little ahead of time, or a little previous, I should say. I got to think about how my Back to the Future time warping works. But Jeremy, what did you think? I'm especially curious because, again, I love Astron 6. I love every member. I love Manborg. I'm not going to lie. And I know Jeremy doesn't. And it's like weird for me because it just seems like a movie you would like. But like in your review, you might want to make a bit of a comparison. What did you think of Psycho Goreman? And the last thing, sorry, I don't want to interrupt too much. The last thing I want to note to everyone is we said something off air, and this is something I would want to share with everyone. My real push for this movie was today was because Jeremy is in town. And I think part of the reason, personally, Jeremy isn't super invested in Manborg is he didn't watch it with us as a group. We watched it as a group. I've seen it before, and then Jeremy watched it separately. I said, if Jeremy's in town, I think if he's going to like Psycho Goreman at all, let's make a push where we watch it as a group. We watch it together, which I hope helps. So sorry for interrupting, but maybe you want to make comparisons. What did you think of Psycho Goreman, and what did you think about it watching as a group?
Yeah, there was obviously... So, first of all, I was very pleasantly surprised with this movie. I didn't like Manborg, and maybe I would have liked it better had I watched it with you guys, because there are some funny moments in it, and the dialogue does get kind of whimsical and comical and crazy. I think we did a movie called Turbo Boy, I believe. Turbo Kid. Well, same thing. Yeah. Boy.
which I told you a lot of times on film festivals was with Manborg. Like, they should both.
Yeah, so I watched Turbo Kid and by myself, and I loved it, and then we reviewed that movie also. And even though I didn't watch it with you guys, I still loved it that second time I saw it. This movie was very similar. Like, it's so funny and like over the top that it's not like a super huge budget movie. It's not a good movie that like is going to be reviewed by the Academy and released in theaters, but it is very, very funny. All of the schlocky special effects really work with the plot line and the writing. I think that if you watch this movie by yourself, you're going to enjoy it. If you like these types of films, if you watch it with a group, it's going to be even better, just from what I experienced tonight. So, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked it. And I may look into more things that this group does as a result of this. So,
Well, unfortunately, Astron 6 is no longer, but as noted, the director goes on and uses them. So, yeah, I mean, the director's still releasing stuff as noted, even last year.
So, yeah.
And Deathstalker, can't wait. Side note, Deathstalker, Mike and I have a lot of love for this, and that is where the director is going next, has the rights to Deathstalker. Deathstalker 2 is a comedy, and it is amazing. And as a group, Rabbit Troop Sucks will absolutely do Deathstalker 2 at some point in time.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just happy, Jeremy. I'm happy to hear that. Like, no joke. I know I'm just jumping in a little more than normal, but you're here in studio, so I'm really happy for that. Just because I didn't want to ever purposely be like, here's a crap movie, not like a bad movie that we couldn't discuss. Just like, here's one that's gonna piss you off. Like, yay! Like,
No. This movie is an hour and 32 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And it flies by. It's great fun. And like I said, the gore is so over the top. There's not much cussing. There's no nudity. I would watch this with my kids, even though it is gory. It is so over the top gory that it doesn't really. I don't know. I don't know how to describe that, but it wouldn't traumatically affect them.
Yeah, I totally get it, Jeremy. I feel this is if your kid's in the know and you have a little personal connection with your kid and you could talk about these things to be like, this is silly and ridiculous.
Well, they watched Turbo Kid and loved it. They thought it was awesome.
Right. And that's what I'm noting. You have kids like that. I feel some parents might just be like, I'm an absentee parent. I don't know what's going on. I'm never talking about them about anything. That's going to be a problem. But if you're not that person and you could have an open dialogue and be like, sometimes this is ridiculous. Jeremy and I talked on the side, he showed his kids Predator not too long ago, and that movie's rated R. I also watched Predator with my dad when I was a kid. Anyone else in this room?
I saw it in the theater on my 9th birthday.
There you go. I feel my dad's view was always if there's violence and we could kind of talk about it after and know this is what's acceptable or what's fake. And I don't mean we always had sit down serious conversations, but spread out throughout time. I feel my dad was this is acceptable or this is over the top, or this is action. And it wasn't just hardcore sex scenes. Then my dad was like, I'll take you. This is how I saw Terminator 2 in the theater with my dad 3 times. I get it. And I feel if you have that connection with kids, that totally makes sense. But again, if you're going to be that absentee parent to be not only are you going to watch this, I need media to also explain it to you, then good luck. Yeah, good luck with that.
You just turn this movie on as the babysitter.
Right.
Here you go. Enjoy Psycho Goreman. Mommy's going to be out back with a glass of wine.
Like the cable guy, Jeremy. Collin, what did you think? First viewing, Psycho Goreman.
I feel like I will kind of echo everyone else's feelings with this, that I really, really liked it. I think the writing for all the characters was incredible. There was a lot of subtle acting that really was just incredibly spot on. Like we mentioned at the very beginning, the girl was a little annoying, and she kind of was throughout the whole thing, and that was probably the worst part of it for me. But it wasn't enough for me to not just really, really like it.
Collin, that was the first thing I noted the first time I watched this movie. I really weirdly feel tempered about her character after multiple viewings. I don't know if anyone else would feel the same. I don't know if Collin would feel the same, but I really feel the first time I viewed this movie, I was like, oh my God, she needs to be dialed back in areas. And now I'm maybe acting wise, I would need to see something else this person did. But this role, I'm a little in the gray with, but I do still feel a couple scenes need to be dialed back at least. I'm sometimes you're just oh my God, you're the worst.
Yeah.
Even your parents would just be like, no.
Yeah.
To make you dig your own grave for your brother.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Dig it, motherfucker.
Yeah. The dad and the mom were great. Even Boy was pretty good. Yeah.
Lamar, what do you think in Psycho Goreman?
I would love this movie. Out of all of the Astron 6 movies that we do, I think
Is this one of your favorites? Even though not Astron 6?
probably, yeah. I love Manborg a lot. I know Manborg is pure Astronaut 6, where this is kind of like a partial, but this movie's more solid. And I'm glad you guys were talking about the actress. I didn't write down any of these actors' names. I have no idea who's in this. But the actress who played the little girl, like you said, Paul, I kind of agree with you, a little bit over the top. But you have more viewings than I do. This is only my second time watching this movie. But the first time I watched it, I was like, this is over the top. You're way too much. I get it that you're on a power trip. And this movie is all about you and how much power you have over this monster that has power over everything. But the way you act is just kind of a bit much. But my second viewing, I actually appreciate it. I think it's just perfect.
Jeremy, where do you find the girls acting? I'm asking Jeremy specific.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because
I wanted to do.
I feel maybe my viewpoint now is I understand a little more of the power trip. Like as a parent, that's why I'm like, I would shut this down immediately. Like if any kid that I had, which I only had one kid, was like acting like this like all the time, I would shut this down immediately. Like, and I am not saying this anything negative about Jeremy's kids or mine. Any parent out there, you have seen your kid act like this somewhere, like a total brat. That's just kids growing up. I've been a brat. Collin's been a brat. Lamar, Mike, everyone's been a brat at some point in time. Like,
Still am.
How dare you?
having a brat summer, Charlie XCX. Everyone's gonna have a brat effing summer. With this, I could see that sense, but like as an adult parent, I'm like, when this gets out of control, I shut this down. Like, I don't want to say I'm harsh. I just think any parent's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, whoa, my kid just got out of control. Jeremy's seen this probably a million times. He has two kids.
Yeah, my kids would, if any of my kids acted like this girl did, I would be super pissed. But there's also like this dynamic that siblings have with each other where they kind of be dicks to each other. So
I meant more the parents. Like the parents are seeing this. I'm like,
both these parents were absent parents.
Oh, yeah.
Their kids are, first of all, the kid fucking stole the TV and walked through the forest to a shoe factory. The parents don't even know what's going on.
How do you know it's a shoe factory?
They're completely absent parents. So in that respect, I can see why this girl's probably like a fucking psycho. But also, I think that this girl's behavior relates directly with Psycho Goreman. Like, you have these two power tripping fucking assholes, and they have to learn a lesson.
I agree. I totally agree with you. It's really when the parents get involved, I'm like, they would shut this down immediately.
Yeah,
but as Jeremy noted, like they're totally absentee. The mom is kind of not, but then is. It's super bizarre.
Yeah.
Well, with that,
Yeah, it kind of like played off to how the parents are. Just Greg is nonchalant. The mom doesn't seem too involved. She's kind of passive. She knows what the daughter is capable of, but in the end, they have to just kind of calm her down. And getting back to the movie, it's an easy breeze. There's not too many characters in this movie. You can have fun with it. I think that's kind of how I sum up a lot of the movies that just go by, and it's like, wow, I didn't have to think about it. This movie was hilarious. I didn't have to think about it over involving plot. Boom, boom, boom. It's good. That's my review.
what are you thinking, Mike?
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. It's super fun. I agree with what everyone said about the girl. At first, it's very abrasive. And Paul, I agree with you. The first time I saw this movie, I was like, what the fuck? Subsequent viewings, it gets, maybe just because you know what's coming. I don't know if this is a hallmark of the actress or if she was following the script. She has been in one other thing as an uncredited extra, apparently.
Nice.
So maybe she just kind of sucks in general. I don't know. But I mean, it doesn't impact my enjoyment. I actually like the character. It just took me a while to warm up to her. Yeah, the whole movie's super fun. The effects are fun. The story is bananas. Just start to finish, it's kind of wacky. I like the Manborg throwback like visuals in the when Psycho Goreman's telling the stories of his past. The whole thing's kind of fun, and the movie ends for me with my favorite thing a movie could do, which is have a rap song that explains the plot of the movie over the credits.
Oh my god, yeah.
So that it finished really strong for me. But yeah, I love the director. I love whatever I always want to call him Ahab because that's his character in
Adam Brooks.
Adam Brooks. Yeah, he's great. Astronaut 6 is great. The director's great. It's just this movie hits for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really more I could add. I think this director's fun. All the cameos are great from the Astronaut 6 members. Adam Brooks, who plays Greg, is absolutely my favorite part of this movie. It is just worth it for admission right there.
Does he play similar characters in other movies, like with that type of kind of comical nonchalance?
Yeah, it's the same
Somewhat.
vibe to it. Yeah, it's the same vibe, but somewhat like Paul said.
Because I really did like the
kinda
dad in
different.
this movie.
Yeah,
He was
Greg's
hilarious.
great. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Like, go back and watch Manborg. I'm like, if you don't like him as like the dual characters, like he's part of the best of the movie. Yeah, I love Greg. Adam Brooks, you're amazing. Yeah, I look forward to watching this director's other stuff. I cannot wait to watch Deathstalker. I have to assume it's going to be a comedy. But this movie's a lot of fun. Like, our Rami review is always watch it as a group or watch it as not. I agree with everyone. Either or. You're probably going to get a little more as a group, but this movie's a lot of fun. But yeah, I had fun with this one. I'm glad, honestly, Jeremy, that you like this. I was a little nervous, like, because you didn't like Manborg, but I'm like, I really am not ever trying to pick a movie that someone's going to be like, this sucks.
Well, this has like a totally different vibe.
It-
and like
yeah.
I said, Manborg, if you can't get past the special effects, which I think was my problem, yeah, this you don't have to worry about. The special effects really work well with like the schlocky feel of the gore and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a spoof of another movie. It's kind of like its own thing.
Or
Kinda
Power
pushes
Rangers.
it.
Or it's a spoof of the Power Rangers.
That's true too.
But coming at you next week, 30th, not 40th, 30th anniversary, Johnny Mnemonic, Keanu Reeves, 1995.
Hey, Jenny.
I have seen this movie once in its entirety. I
Same
saw
here.
it in the theater in 1995.
I think we saw this together.
I agree. I agree with
together.
Jeremy that the last time I saw this movie was in the theater with Jeremy.
Paul, you and I have seen this movie
I have
together.
not in its entirety. I
don't believe that.
Mike, I have never seen this movie in its entirety ever again. Maybe clips, maybe even half of it.
I'm pretty sure you and I have seen this movie together.
I hate it when mommy and daddy fight.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, there's going to be a dolphin.
Because I've seen this
And
movie
Dolph Lundgren.
recently, and I don't know who I would have watched it with other than you.
Are you saying you don't remember the evening where you got drunk and just randomly put on Johnny Mnemonic? And
There were probably drinks involved, but I'm pretty sure we saw this movie together. At some
Going back in Mike and I's time, we probably loaded this movie up like 50 times.
that's
It's
true.
like every year.
Had I stayed at Mike's house, I see like a Paul like dummy in the corner. I'm like, oh, that explains
made out of
everything.
coconuts or whatever.
Wow, a lot of things are going to be revealed next week. But yeah, Johnny Mnemonic, Keanu Reeves, Dolph Lundgren, a dolphin, a couple gigabytes in your brain.
Dolphin Lundgren?
Dolphin Lundgren. I remember Dolph Lundgren in this movie. This is hilarious. Yeah.
But as always, Rabbit Troop sucks.
Not my hunky boys.
Not my hunky boys.